You know, if it's one thing that we know is that Donald Trump is not a fan of fake news. I mean, he can't stand it when the media creates fake news and fake headlines and newspapers and television shows and magazines. He's out there railing every day against the scourge of fake media and journalists, okay? No, but it turns out Donald Trump's actually a big fan of fake news, and even has a fake framed magazine cover at several of his golf courses. Now, the Washington Post is reporting that at least 4 Trump clubs were found to have displayed framed copies of a fake Time magazine cover with him in it. You can see it. Let me give you a better picture here. Look at that, man. That Trump is hitting it on all fronts, even TV. The Apprentice is a television smash. How stressed is your bank? A checkup. Oh boy. Again, that's 2009, right? And of course, global warming, a new age of extinction. So that's your Time cover. Obviously, there seems to be a few things wrong with that cover. It's the fact that it doesn't actually exist. It's not real. It's fake. It's fake news. Now, the cover, as I said, dated March 1st, 2009. So now, the Washington Post writes, it looks like an impressive memento from Trump's pre-presidential career. To club members eating lunch or golfers waiting for a pro shop purchase, it seemed to be a signal that Trump has always been a man who mattered. Even when it was just a reality TV star, Trump was the kind of star who got a cover story in Time. Okay, so look, this is a ridiculous story. For one, oh my God, he's in Time magazine. And who cares? I gotta laugh about this because this is ridiculous. In 2 different ways, actually. Number one, I don't think anybody cares about Time magazine. Most people I know. Sorry, Time magazine. Sorry. It's just, I don't think anybody under 40 gives a shit about Time magazine. They just don't. They don't care about your magazine. They don't care about who you put on the cover. Unless it's Bernie Sanders, then it gets people excited. But anyway. You think young millennials are like, oh my God, look who they put on the top cover of Time. They put Donald Trump. Oh my God, it's great. Now, here's the second thing, right? Only people over 40 would think so highly of this magazine to consider it something that, of course, matters. So people at the pro golf shops, again, not throwing shade over people or at people over 40 or people who golf, okay? But just, I think that to those people who are older, that stuff matters a little bit more to than it does the younger generation. To be fair, okay. Now, that also makes it something that someone like Trump would be interested in counterfeiting. To see himself on the cover of this magazine. And look, to be fair, I'm going to talk about it later, but he was already in this magazine. So again, it wouldn't make sense to go and put yourself on the cover of this magazine fraudulently, since you've already been on it before. But anyway, we'll get to that. Okay. Again, the whole story seems to be very sad. There's no winning here. Nobody's winning. Nonetheless, you got to come correct about what's going on, and that's what Time said. Now, Time spokesman told CNBC via email, quote, I can confirm that this is not a real Time cover. The official edition for that week was instead released on March 2nd, 2009, and paid homage to Kate Winslet and her Oscar success in The Reader. Sad. Now, look, the obvious question here is, who the hell wants to fake a magazine cover? Really? I mean, look, we don't know it's him. We don't know if he did it. Nobody knows who actually made it. Maybe he does. He is. He's not saying anything, right? But knowing how Donald Trump is and how he's all about appearances and all about self-promotion, it certainly seems possible that he either A, commissioned it to be made. Hey, one of my friends, I'm going to, have them make up this Time cover. And because I'm fantastic, I'm winning, and that's going to help with promotion. Or maybe somebody made it for him without his knowledge, and he thought, oh man, I was on the cover of Time. That's awesome. Let's hang it up. Everywhere on at least 4 of my different golf courses, we're gonna hang this thing up. Or maybe he knows it's not legit. Somebody made it for him, and he's like, "I like it. I'm gonna put it up, and maybe everybody will think it's legit. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Again, who does something like that? Well, somebody that's a supreme narcissist. Okay, so that's what it is. Now, to be fair, it's not like Trump hasn't been in magazines before, which makes it even more ridiculous that he could possibly say or have this made and pretend that it's legit. You know what I mean? But again, Trump knows no bounds of going low. So, you know, he was even on the cover of Time once. Trump had been featured on the magazine's cover once before entering politics in January of 1989. He was then known as New York Business Mogul. So, yeah, he's on the cover of Time back in 1989. Not only that, but he has appeared on countless real magazine covers, both before and after taking office. Apart from magazines like Fortune and Newsweek, he is one reported few men to have graced a copy of the front of Playboy in March 1990, according to the BBC. And look, by the way, the evangelicals, well, they loved it. Oh, he's on the cover of Playboy. We don't care at all because he's a godly candidate. Again, anybody else is on the cover. Imagine if Barack Obama was on the cover of Playboy. Imagine if Hillary Clinton. Oh, actually, no, don't imagine that. Let's not imagine that, okay? Let's not imagine anybody like that on the cover of Playboy, okay? Let's avoid it. I wouldn't want to see Bernie Sanders on the cover of Playboy either. So let's be fair about that, okay? Look, anybody else did that though, or anything like that, the right would be screaming about it. But when it came to President, Donald Trump being on it, didn't care. Evangelicals, they loved him. They still voted for him. So there it is. How sad though. Again, this isn't a bullshit story, or this is a bullshit story actually, but it doesn't mean anything, okay? But it is super, super, super sad, especially since he's been on the cover of other magazines, and because of that, I don't think he needed a fake cover. I mean, look, Donald Trump is a guy, and with all the shit that we give him, a lot of people tend to forget or tend not to recognize that he somehow managed to fail upwards, both in business and into the presidency. So this is a guy who failed upward to get into these magazines, to get on these covers. And again, that's amazing in its own right. This is a businessman who's essentially failed at nearly everything and still remains rich and famous. And then ran one of the worst campaigns that we've ever seen and somehow still won. Thanks to the Electoral College and gerrymandering and all that different stuff. Okay. Look, that is a tale worth telling. That is something worth putting in a magazine, because that's very, very interesting. Even if at the end of the day, the story that they're telling is a cautionary one. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.